but I'm a former state representative. And it's funny when I think Dwight talked about how important voting is. And I'll tell you, in 2010, I had served in the legislature for 16 years. In 2010, I lost the election by 2 votes. I lost my election in 2010 by 2 votes. On the night of the election, I had won by 3 votes. But because it was so close, I had to do a recount. And through the recount, I lost 3 votes and he gained 2 votes. And so I ended up losing by 2 votes. So every vote does count. So I just think it's very important. And for my community, which my district was a majority black district, and it was a white guy beat me in that, it really, I think, for me, says to how do we reflect on what we want, who we want to lead our community, and how much political power do we as African Americans really think we have. So I won't get into that except to say that we have a lot of education to do. It's more than just about, I got to tell you, it's more than just about registering to vote and saying I'm a registered voter. That's the easiest part of it, getting somebody to register to vote. That's really the easiest part of it. If we don't do nothing after that, then we're going to get what we deserve in a sense. So you got to understand, only 25 to 30% of the registered voters vote. 1 out of 4 people that's registered vote. So here you have a population, let's say, of ex-offenders who for a long time could not vote for certain reasons. And then those who actually, was ex-offenders that finished their time, who could then actually get a chance to vote. It's not, in Connecticut, we never had the law where you always, there's some states that once you're convicted of a felony, you lose the right to vote forever. There's only like 3 states left like that now. But Connecticut was never one of those states. If you finished your time, your sentence, your whatever you were sentenced, you really had the right to re-register or register and vote. But the attitude amongst most ex-offenders that they heard that, you got a felony, you can never vote. That was really never true in Connecticut. But, once people believe that, it was a perception. So I always thought that we needed to do 2 things. Not only register our folks to vote, but make sure they vote if they're registered. So on one hand, those folks who are registered, we need to figure out how do we get more than 1 out of 4 to vote. Now that's in general. In the African American community, it's probably like 1 out of 5. So it's less than 1 out of 4, of registered. And black men are the least in terms of registered and those who vote of all demographics of the population. When you look at age, when you look at geographical area, when you look at gender, when you look at economic status, black men don't vote. Black men don't vote. So, on one hand, if you don't vote, I can tell you, Tony said something. As a state representative, if somebody called my office, what do you think the first thing I did? No, I check. I can check. If you call my office and tell me where you live, I can check and see if you're a registered voter. That's the first thing I did. 2 things I did. Are you a registered voter and do you live in my district? Can you vote for me? Because if you can't vote for me, so somebody who's a registered voter in my district, I'm going to respond to why they vote me in and out and they're registered. Now, I go a step further and say, did they vote in the last couple of elections? So it's more than just, do you live in my district, are you registered, but did you vote? Because I can tell you, and I can find out if you voted in the last 4 elections. I mean, just 1 phone call. Just hit a few numbers on the computer, and I can find out. So, I didn't operate like this necessarily. I don't care who called, I don't care whatever, I responded. But you keep track. You keep track because you want to know, for re-election, who you need to target to win again. You're going to target those folks who registered, who go out to vote, and then if they even call you, you know they're paying attention. And that's where I think we have to try to organize around and say, we're paying attention to who you are, who we elect, and the policies that you develop.